An outbreak of Ebola in the Democratic Republic of Congo has been...
Imagine waking up one morning and hearing that a mysterious disease has appeared. People develop high fever, severe bleeding, and within days, many don't survive. No one knows what it is. No one knows where it came from. Doctors are confused, and fear spreads faster than the answer. This wasn't a plot of a horror movie. It really happened in 1976 when two mysterious outbreaks appeared almost at the same time in Sudan and Zaire, now known as the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
When scientists investigated the outbreak in a small village called Yambuku, they discovered something the world had never seen before, a completely new virus. Instead of naming it after the village, they chose the name Ebola, taken from a nearby river. This was done to avoid giving the village a negative reputation. The first outbreak was devastating. Out of 318 infected people, 280 lost their lives, making it one of the deadliest diseases ever discovered. At that time, hospitals had very limited infection control. Needles and syringes were reused without proper sterilization, allowing the virus to spread rapidly from one patient to another. Today, scientists believe that Ebola originally comes from fur bats, which are considered its natural reservoir. The virus can spread from infected animals to humans, before being transmitted from person to person through direct contact with infected body fluids, although rare accidental exposure in laboratory settings can also occur if proper biosafety procedures are not followed. But what exactly makes Ebola so deadly? How does it attack the human body, and why is it so difficult to control? Let's find out.
To understand why Ebola is one of the world's deadliest viruses, we must first understand the virus itself.
The Ebola virus belongs to the family Filoviridae and a genus Ortho Ebola virus. It causes a severe disease known as Ebola virus disease or EVD, affecting both humans and non-human primates. Under an electron microscope, the Ebola virus has a distinctive long, thread-like or filamentous sheet, setting it apart from many other viruses that are typically spherical. Inside the virus is a single-stranded, negative sense RNA genome that carries the genetic information needed for replication. Surrounding the genome is the VP40 matrix protein, which maintains the virus structure and helps assemble and release new virus particles. The virus is enclosed by a lipid envelope covered with glycoprotein spikes that allow it to attach and enter human cells. Scientists have identified 6 Ebola virus species: Zaire, Sudan, Bundibugyo, Typhorus, Reston, and Bombali. Among them, Zaire Ebola virus is the most virulent and caused the devastating 2014 to 2016 West African outbreak, with fatality rates reaching up to 90% in some outbreaks. In contrast, the Reston virus has mainly been found in animals and has not been shown to cause disease in humans.
Understanding the characteristic and the structure of Ebola viruses helps scientists to develop a better method to detect, prevent, and treat this deadly virus. But what happened after this virus enters the human body? And what makes it so deadly? Let's find out. In its pathogenicity.
The story of Ebola begins when the virus enters human body through contact with infected blood or bodily fluid. The virus targets immune cells such as dendrites or macrophage, which is the very cells that are responsible for defending human body.
Instead of destroying the virus, these infected cells become transport systems carrying Ebola throughout the bloodstream to vital organs, including liver, spleen, and adrenal glands. When Ebola enters the body, it acts like a stealth bomber by turning off the immune system's early warning alarms called interferon by using 2 specific proteins. which is VP24 and VP35. Because the body doesn't realize it is under attack, the virus is able to multiply rapidly and spread to major organs completely unchallenged. Once the body finally notices the infection, the immune system panics and releases a massive wave of intense inflammation called cytokine storm. Instead of fighting the virus, this inflammation accidentally attacks the lining of your blood vessels. The vessel walls break apart and become incredibly leaky, causing the fluid to escape and blood pressure to drop dangerously low. The final stages, this severe vascular damage triggers random blood clots throughout the body, cutting off oxygen to vital organs like the liver and kidney. Because the body exhausts all its clotting resources on these random clots, internal bleeding can occur. This combination of leaky vessels and organ damage ultimately leads to a total body failure and fatal shock.
It is a devastating combination of immune evasion, uncontrollable inflammation, and organ damage that makes Ebola one of the most lethal infectious diseases known to humanity.
Ebola virus disease is not just a medical condition, it also affects human health, society, and emotional lives.
On the health side, Ebola attacks the body aggressively. It spreads rapidly through multiple organ systems, causing high fever, weakness, vomiting, diarrhea, internal and external bleeding.
The virus weakens the immune system, and without proper treatment, it will lead to organ failure and death. But the impact doesn't stop with the individual.
Entire communities are forced to shut down, school close, business stop operating, movement become restricted to prevent further transmission.
Ebola outbreak caused people to lose their jobs and income. Government also have to spend a lot of money on healthcare and to overcome the outbreak.
And perhaps the most silent impact is the emotional one.
Patients are isolated and separated from their families during treatment. Families also experience grief and anxiety from losing loved ones.
Have you ever wondered how governments stop Ebola outbreaks from spreading? Ebola is a deadly virus, but with quick action, its spread can be controlled. So, let's look at some important measures government use to fight Ebola.
The first measure is early detection. Doctors and health authorities monitor people with Ebola-like symptoms. The earlier an infected person is identified, the faster the treatment can begin. This also reduces the chance of the virus spreading to others.
Next is isolation.
People who are infected are placed in special treatment centers. They receive medical care while staying away from healthy people.
Another important measure is contact tracing.
Health workers identify everyone who has been in close contact with an infected person. These contacts monitored for 21 days, which is the incubation period of Ebola. If they develop symptoms, they are immediately isolated and treated.
Government also use vaccination.
Healthcare workers and people at high risk receive Ebola vaccine. This helps to protect them and also reduces the spread of the virus.
Public education is also very important. Governments teach people how Ebola spreads. They encourage good hand hygiene.
They also advise people to avoid contact with infected body fluids, and they advise people with symptoms to get medical care immediately.